Hello, everyone. In this video, I will present an international negotiation activity focused on assertive communication and the Harvard negotiation model. I will use a conflict inside the company Abanico SAS and apply the model to the case, known as the communication salad. My goal is to show how an assertive and structured negotiation can transform a communication problem into a win-win agreement. Throughout the presentation, I will explain what assertive communication is, summarize the Harvard model, describe the case context, and then walk through each step of the model until reaching a final negotiated solution. To begin, I want to clarify what assertive communication means in a negotiation setting. Assertiveness is the ability to express what I think, what I feel, and what I need clearly and respectfully, without attacking others or staying silent. It's different from passive communication, where people avoid conflict and don't say what they need, and also different from aggressive communication, where people impose their ideas or blame others. In assertive communication, I use facts instead of assumptions, I listen actively, and I focus on solving the situation rather than winning the argument. This style is essential in negotiation because it protects relationships while still defending my interests. Now I will introduce the Harvard negotiation model, which is one of the most used approaches for professional negotiation. This model is based on 4 core principles. First, separate people from the problem, meaning I don't attack individuals, I address the issue. Second, focus on interests, not positions, so I look beyond what people demand and identify what they truly need. Third, invent options for mutual gain, meaning we create alternatives that benefit both sides. And fourth, use objective criteria, where decisions are based on measurable standards, not personal opinions. The purpose is reaching a fair agreement that improves results and relationships at the SA.
Me time.
In the case of Abanico SAS, the negotiation involves 4 main company perspectives. Even though I'm presenting alone, I will describe each role because they represent the real internal forces in the conflict. First, the general manager, focused on business stability, reputation, and results. Second, the operations or production leader, who cares about planning, processes, and avoiding last-minute changes. Third, the commercial or sales leader, responsible for client promises and market competitiveness. And fourth, the human talent or communications leader, who works to maintain team climate and effective internal messaging. These roles usually have different goals, and that diversity is exactly what makes negotiati unnecessary. Let me explain the situation called the communication salad. The company is facing a serious communication breakdown. Messages between departments are unclear, duplicated, or sometimes contradictory. Because of this, operations receive incomplete instructions, sales make promises without updated information, and employees feel frustrated because priorities change constantly. The result is missed deadlines, tension between areas, and clients complaining about inconsistency. The key point is that this conflict is not mainly personal. It is a problem of how communication flows, who approves what, and how decisions are shared. So the negotiation must fix the system, not blame people. Applying the first Harvard principle, separating people from the problem. In this case, it would be easy for each area to accuse the others. Sales may say operations are slow. Operations may say sales are disorganized, and HR may say everyone communicates badly. But the Harvard model pushes us to step back. The real problem is the communication process, not the character of the workers. An assertive approach means recognizing pressures without attacking. For example, instead of saying you always change things, I would say the current process allows changes without clear authorization, and that affects execution. This keeps the conversation constructive and protects teamwork. Now, the second principle, focusing on interests, not positions. A position is what each area says they want. For example, operations might say, don't change deadlines, and sales might say, we need quicker responses. Those are positions. But behind them there are deeper interests. Operations need stability to plan resources. Sales needs accurate information to protect client trust. The manager needs profitability and reputation. HR needs respectful communication and a healthy climate. Assertive communication helps uncover these real interests because people feel safe to explain their needs instead of defending their demands. Once interests are clear, agreement becomes much easier. The third Harvard principle is to invent options for mutual gain. Here, instead of forcing a single solution, the actors would brainstorm alternatives that benefit everyone. Based on the case, strong options could include 1. Defining a single official channel where changes and approvals are communicated. 2. Creating a short, structured meeting each week for cross-area alignment. 3. Assigning a clear responsibility matrix: who informs, who decides, and who executes. And 4. Using shared templates for internal updates and client messages. These options reduce confusion, protect deadlines, and improve trust internally and externally. The aim is not to win over another area, but to improve the company as a whole. The final principle is to rely on objective criteria. This prevents agreements based on power, emotion, or personal preferences. In Abanico SAS, objective criteria could be delivery time compliance, number of communication errors, response time between areas, and client satisfaction indicators. So the agreement would not be, "I feel this is better," but rather, "This works because the indicators will verify improvement." For example, the final commitment could be, each area has one spokesperson. All changes go through the official channel, and after 30 days we review performance using those metrics. This makes the agreement measurable and sustainable. To conclude, this case shows why assertive communication is essential for negotiation. It allows people to express problems honestly without damaging relationships. The Harvard model gave a clear structure. We avoided personal conflict, clarified real needs, created shared solutions, and validated them through measurable criteria. With this approach, Abanico SAS can move from a communication salad, messy and confusing, toward a unified system that supports planning, sales accuracy, team well-being, and client trust. Finally, in my written submission, I will include academic sources in APA format about assertive communication and the Harvard negotiation model. Thank you for watching.